deeper.
Ooh. Well, hello there, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to another episode of Bones and Tubs.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Happy whatever you're doing. Whether you're gonna have a Christmas tree or you do nothing. I hope your winter solstice goes well.
Go out there and buy things. Be good consumers.
God knows I did.
Capitalism.
But anyways, today, I'd say we have our first time ever more topics than we could actually cover in one episode. It's kind of a first for us. I was ecstatic when I put the call out there for topics last week, and people were so generous to send us so many, and you will get your shout-outs today. Now, we're not going to cover all the topics you sent this week because there's so many. But we will be covering them in the shows after. So
I have a feeling that just the Flat Earth conversation alone is enough to not only affect me during this episode, but it might just ruin my life.
Yeah, our main topic this week, we both put legwork into this one because we wanted to get all the facts out there, and it's gonna be an interesting show. It's gonna be good.
I'm gonna start this off by saying that I don't know how anybody, just as much as I've looked into it, I don't believe that anybody on either side can be a zealot.
No.
Nobody should be able to be like, that's fucking stupid.
Yeah.
The Earth's clearly round/flat. There's no fucking way that you would know.
I'll give it to him. Okay, initially, all right. Let's just go ahead. Let's just run right into this one because we both been gnawing on this bone for a week now, and I think we just need to dive right in. This, our good friend of the show and real friend in real life, Aaron Starr, gave us the topic Flat Earth theory. Now,
Ginger for the win.
Yeah, for those of you that don't know what Flat Earth theory is, it's literally the theory that the Earth is in fact flat, always has been, and it's been something that's been suppressed by the powers that be since existence, I guess, because the Greeks figured out the Earth was that they said the Earth was round a really long time ago, basically. So this is something that's been going on for a long time, and in all reality, for a good amount of time, there was no in at least the West, there was no group that thought the Earth was flat, but then it had a reemergence right around the 18th century, and people, scientists and whatnot, started putting stock back into it again.
Before we get too deep into it, I'm going to do this for all the beer drinkers. I'm about to throw in a Grizzly Wintergreen Long Cut. Just hearing the can sound will make you stop whatever you're doing and put one of those in your mouth, right in your mouth. And we'll continue.
But, so I guess we'll start in the beginning. Okay, back, mind you, before, Western Greek Enlightenment, we thought the Earth was flat. And we're not alone in this. Most cultures in the world, at one point in time, up to a certain extent, believed the world was flat. I'm talking, the Chinese thought the world was flat till the 18th century. And then they came around when Christian Jesuits came to China and told them, we have a different idea of how the Earth is, and explained it to them. That's when the tide turned for the Chinese. But the Greeks are the first ones, in at least the West, to establish that they believed the Earth. A few of them decided the Earth was round, and we're talking about pre-Hellenistic Greece was when they believed the Earth was flat. But then, and mind you, I got most of this on the pro-globular side, the pro-spherical side from Wikipedia, and I'll cite where I got the flat Earth stuff from later. But the first person to establish that he thought that the Earth wasn't flat, that it was in fact round, was Crates of Malice. I'm probably butchering that, but he had he had this theory of he referred to as antipodes. Now, anti and podes refers to reverse feet, basically. So his notion was that somewhere else on the other side of the world, somebody was standing on the earth but opposite you. So like it was reverse feet. If you guys can get that. Aristotle also put his 2 cents in it. He established it based on lunar phases, and but he wasn't quite sure if it was exactly spherical or not. He had a conclusion that it quite possibly could have been oval shaped as well. But he also established it through the notion that constellations look different from one place to another. And he said if Earth was flat, it would in fact all the constellations would look exactly the same.
I just think it's interesting that for the longest time they've gone after this, at least in modern times, with the heliocentric sphere model, where everything is a perfect sphere. And you see all these pictures of our planet and then other planets, and they're all perfect spheres of varying sizes. But now that they're acting like it's not been a sphere, it's more of what they call an oblate, so it's more pear-shaped than anything else. Well, all the pictures that they've shown us have been perfect spheres. Now they're telling us it's a pear shape. That comes from Neil deGrasse Tyson himself, the man, as it were.
He is the science man of his time. Indeed, the science man. So, I mean, even what we call established science can't get their shit together on this one. But, like I said, we're coming up with different means of proving this notion because, like, mind you, this is a time when, like I said, the established idea was that the Earth was flat. So these thinkers, Aristotle and Crates of Malice and I'm going to butcher these names. I can't get these Greek names, man. Eratosthenes had the 2 sticks principle, and that was that if you took 2 sticks and you held them out at different points in different areas at the same time, those sticks would not measure the same on a spherical Earth because we have different angles, right? On a flat Earth, they would measure the same no matter what. No matter how far away they were, they would measure exactly the same. And he went on even to stipulate that if this is the case, then there must be, I mean, mind you, this is a long, long time ago. This is before we even, like, the concept of time was just, like, in its infancy. So, he did lightweight come up with time zones.
Yeah.
I mean, more or less. Because of the idea that the Earth is round.
I had a few things that just my own personal experience that made me kind of like, I don't know, I wouldn't say question it, but if you look at the way that they explain the Earth's curvature, supposedly, what is it, every mile you drop 8 inches in visibility?
Yeah.
And then, when I don't know, go back to my trip, was it last year, the year before last, when we went to the Outer Banks. I was just sitting in the living room in the house we rented, and the living room had these giant bay windows that outlooked on the ocean, and there was a series of like flat lines that ran across the base of the windows, and the entirety of the ocean that you could see, which was the same distance you could see left or right as if you were standing outside, so it was a wide view. It matched perfectly with the flatness of the board. The board wasn't curved at all.
Yeah.
And you'd think that with a view, depending on what your view is in your landscape, you should be able to see, with that unobstructed view, you should be able to see, at least at the tips, if the Earth is, at the very least, the same size that they've explained it to us. But maybe they lied to us about the size of it. But there was no curve. And I sent that picture to Sean. He sent me one back. I guess he was on a trip at the same time from a plane. And he was in the plane, and the same thing, as far as you could see, flat. So you're even higher up, perfect visibility, no curvature.
Yeah.
And then I tried to use their curvature calculator for distance. Every mile was 8 inches lost visibility when I was out kayaking on the Sound in between the island and the east coast. And it was a distance of roughly 7 miles. And you could see the beach like where the water was running up, so there was no flat or no curvature at that distance.
Yeah. Well, when I was doing the research for this, like, it's one of those things where like they give the side for the idea that there's a flat Earth. They have compelling arguments. It's like you said, like you couldn't, like when you could see out there in the horizon, and there was no like measurable curve, right?
Mm.
And like I get that, and I can see why people would want to keep thinking that. I mean, but like, it's like you said though, it's there's no like superior notion here, right?
Right.
So my line of logic is if I were to see something like that, it's about perspective. You know what I mean? Like.
Right. Point of view.
It's about point of view. Like, you're this fucking dust mote on a fucking rock hurtling through space.
Mm.
Now, by that notion, in all reality, and here's the thing, and I'm going to blow everybody's mind right here. Whether the Earth is round or flat, it really doesn't fucking matter. Because once again, you're a dust mote on a rock hurling through space.
Yeah, when it all comes down to it, unless they tell us, whoever they are, we're never going to know. Because, I mean, I don't think, at least in our lifetime, they want to wax on poetically about all this space travel and shit that's going to be available for people like you and me. That's never going to happen.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have, 10, 15 years to find out if that's true or not. Because, I mean, Elon Musk is saying some bold shit right now.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I think this might be it's either we legit are going to go to Mars, or this is the first initiation into the Matrix.
Right.
Like, they put you on what you think is a ship. In reality, they're just plugging you in.
Right.
Oh, my shit, I'm on Mars. Fuck. This is awesome.
Fuck.
And then they tell you, guess what? Mars is flat, bitch.
Now you're a battery for real.
But, okay, so I got some numbers from some Flat Earth site called it was a WordPress thing called Flat Earth Science in the Bible.
Talking about the firmament.
Yeah, and they threw some numbers out there, like they reasoned that a 25,000 mile globe would look like it was constantly curving from a plane. But it looks like a flat horizon, like you said. Hmm. So that was their first thing. Okay, and here is where the flat earthers ultimately lost me. Completely and utterly lost me on their notion. It's their notion that the sun is way closer than it actually is.
Right.
And I'm here right now. Like, you sent me that video last night, and I like the beginning of that video because the guy was just talking about how to improve your life, right?
Get out of the fucking rat race.
Yeah, but he lost me when he's like, well, the sun gets smaller and smaller. Okay. I mean, I'm not a scientist, but I know for a fact that atmospheric gases can make things look bigger than they are.
Right.
That's why the sun can sometimes look bigger than it is. And at certain angles, it's going to look bigger, and at certain angles, it's going to look smaller based on your point of view and how you're looking at it. Hmm. Now, same thing with the moon. We literally know this. We live in Ohio. We have a harvest moon.
Yeah.
A harvest moon is made because so much dust particles are thrown into the air when farmers are harvesting their crops that it creates this magnifying effect on the moon. Not only that, but changes the color of it.
Yeah.
It's basically like they put a screen, a colored screen in a piece of glass in front of the moon, more or less. Is that like optical effect? So that's where that guy I watched last night lost me, where he was talking about how he's like, well, the sun's way closer, and he talked about what's those rays called?
The cosmic rays?
No, not cosmic rays. It's like the rays of sunshine you see through clouds.
Yeah, I know.
And he's talking about those, and he's like, well, it wouldn't make sense that they'd hit at these angles. But what he failed to recognize in that is that when he's taking video of these clouds and it doesn't make sense that the rays are at these angles, it's because the clouds are at different altitudes. So you're going to have rays poking in directions that they probably shouldn't. Hmm. I mean, you could see that all day. I mean, but...
Did you, I guess, I think that my skepticism comes from, first of all, I don't trust anything NASA says. NASA, to me, I heard this once and it stuck, and I don't think it'll ever go away. When I look at NASA or hear NASA now, I think never a straight answer or not a space agency.
Yeah.
And it's like, you look at any of the pictures of the, solar system, we supposedly shoot out, we take these spaceships, basically just to prove the patriarchy. Yeah. Giant, metal cocks. Mm-hmm. We shoot out of the planet to try and impregnate space. Right?
Yeah.
We shoot out these satellites that must have, trillion-mile internet. And they send back these fucking fantastic photographs. And I heard that all these are fake. So I was like, oh, it wouldn't fucking surprise me. I looked that up, and they're all, NASA admits on their website that they're all renderings.
Yeah, I mean, like, when they're showing us pictures from, like, satellites and stuff that have been shot out to space, nothing looks like that.
Right.
They have to, like, put filters on it to, like, it's basically like the galactic version of airbrushing.
Yeah.
Like,
it's Photoshop.
Yeah, they Photoshop the stretch marks right out of the galaxy.
Yeah. It's like, even the ones on the Earth that they show us, the one that they supposedly took from the fake-ass moon trip, which, spoiler alert, I don't buy that we went to the fucking moon. If we did, we sure as fuck didn't show any of the video or pictures from it. That's just me.
Yeah.
But if you look into that at all, that's fake as shit. And I watched that Stanley Kubrick documentary, and that fucking blew my brain out.
Which is the one about The Shining?
Yeah.
Hey, that's a good one, people. I think it's, Room 237?
Yeah, Room 237 on Netflix.
It's really good. It dives into the theories about what The Shining is really about. It's really good. We're not going to... this is a movie review show, but
right.
We do suggest that movie. We both watched it, and I enjoyed it thoroughly. There's another one that I like in that one that it's his... I don't want to diverge here, but it's that they talk about it's his Confession of the Moon Landing is one theory.
Yeah.
And another one is that it's his Holocaust movie.
Right.
Because he mentally couldn't handle doing an actual Holocaust movie, so he had to do something that was all symbolic of the Holocaust. But okay, back to subject.
Any of the footage or the pictures from the moon can't be explained. Like they show, my favorite one is this fucking picture where the orbital lander or whatever is making its first touchdown, and they've got a picture of it landing, and they're like, "Who took the fucking picture, bro?"
That's a good point.
And then you've got like all the pictures of I forget the exact numbers, but you guys can look it up. It shows like however many people supposedly walked on the moon in that first trip, and yet you see like 3 more shadows in 4 of the pictures than you should. And then you see John Glenn supposedly walking with his anti-firearm ass. Glad he's dead. Jesus. But anyway, you see him walking, making the first step on the moon as he makes that, historic fucking recording. And the picture of the boot print doesn't match the picture of the suit that they put on display. It's not the same boot print. The boot print picture shows like this, I don't know, it's almost croc-like. Except it has like straight lines that walk across the bottom of the shoe which you would assume you would need on a fucking alien planet because you don't know what you're going to be walking in.
Yeah.
But the picture of the boot of the astronaut suit that's on display is completely flat on the bottom.
Yeah.
They say, well, this is the exact suit that he wore to walk on the moon. Bitch, why are his boots different? Is my question.
Then there's a lot of raised questions about our exploration of space. I mean, even like scientifically, even like beyond theory, we know that the Van Allen radiation belts exist.
Oh, yeah.
Now, if you don't know what those are, they're generally, they say there could be, sometimes there's more than 2, but there's generally 2 bands of electromagnetic energy that surround the outer exterior of our planet. And when I say outer exterior, I don't mean the atmosphere. It's out in space. And it's generated by our core. I mean, it's a giant molten iron spinning ball of magnetism. So it generates electromagnetism that shoots out from the poles, and it's more or less our protection. It's basically our force field that shields us from the harshest solar radiation. And what happens is when this radiation from the sun hits this thing, it collects it, and then would slowly disperse it back out into space. But the problem is that it doesn't disperse it as fast as it collects it.
Right.
So this thing gets highly radioactive. Now, my question is, anybody that would go into the Van Allen radiation belts would be experiencing high doses of radiation.
Yeah.
And no amount of lead shielding or let alone the fact that I don't think they had lead shielding, would protect you from the Van Allen radiation belts.
There's no way for life to get through the Van Allen radiation belt. That's what I was watching on NASA's fake-ass channel. They posted a video where they were like all excited. We're working with SpaceX, and we're going to put a man on Mars. We're helping them. And it showed all these figures and these pictures of like new space technology that they're going to use to get people to Mars and all this nonsense. And then the fucking guy, the spokesperson from NASA says, the hardest thing that we're trying to overcome right now is figuring out how to get past the Van Allen radiation belt, which is where I originally learned about it.
Which, that's funny, because to get to the moon, you got to get out of the Van Allen radiation belts to get there first.
Yeah. And then if you look at like YouTube and you find any interviews with these astronauts that went on the moon landing, they all say, like one guy was like, hi, have you guys had any health problems with, all the radiation from the Van Allen radiation belt? And they're like, oh, no, we didn't go through it. And they kind of pause, look at each other awkwardly, and he's like, You
did.
You went to the moon.
You did go through it.
And he's like, well, yeah, but we were in the spaceship. We were fine. Like,
I mean, I'm not saying that space travel is impossible.
No.
I'm just saying I think they've exaggerated what we've accomplished. Because even if you get out of the Van Allen belts, you are exposing yourself to the full onslaught of our sun.
Right.
And that means you have no shielding, no protection from the radiation that would literally, it doesn't get blocked by anything. It would pass right through your ship, right into your body. It'll stay in your body. Your body makes a great shield for radiation.
Yeah, absorbs it.
It absorbs it like a sponge.
And yet these guys died at old age from, from old age related issues. They didn't die from radiation poisoning or cancer or any of that shit.
I mean, I'm kind of on the fence on this whole thing. I'm not saying that it didn't happen. I'm just saying they need to better explain the science as to how these dudes survived.
But wasn't it during the heart of the Cold War? Or like the Russian buildup between, our two countries, I should say.
Yeah.
So even if, and who's to say that they didn't? I'm not saying they didn't land on the moon, but I'm saying that everything that they've showed us is bullshit.
Yeah.
And I don't think it makes sense during a time of Russian and, American headbutting that we were actually going to show. That's basically like showing them, video proof of our military technology at the time. We're at least not going to do that. So then why would anything that they've shown us would we expect to be real anyway?
Yeah. So, let's see. Let's see if I have anything else.
I don't know. That definitely sets the groundwork for me not trusting anything that they tell us.
Yeah, I mean, and it's also sticky because when I started doing research on this flat Earth theory, I come to find out that for the longest time, now mind you, the Greeks figured it out. But then, if anybody remembers, and from Western civilization, we had this time called the Dark Ages, where like everything that the Greeks and the Romans had come up with already, a lot of it was just lost to the ether, because we lost our central hub, basically, and we had to relearn how to do a lot of things, and we rediscovered like Western philosophy and stuff like that eventually. But for the longest time, the Catholic Church was pressing the idea that the Earth was flat. And not only that, but the geocentric model of our solar system.
They were pressing that theory the same way they pressed those altar boys.
Yeah, and I'm not trying to, like, hate on Catholics. I have Catholic family, so I can't really say that much. But we all have to admit that there was a time when those devious motherfuckers were on some fuck shit.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, we can at least admit that. I mean, I even go on to say I think they still are on some fuck shit.
Well, they've got that, what's the vault that they've got in the Vatican of all the different, like, information and all this shit that we'll never see. No one's allowed to go in there and look at it.
Yeah. So, I mean, like...
Plus, they were killing people that didn't jive with their flat Earth theory, and yet now, in today's world, they have the most expensive telescopes.
Yeah. Exactly. And then, like, you have, like, look at Galileo. They cut that motherfucker's fingers off because he refused to believe their whole fucking geocentric model.
Yeah.
He knew better. He's like, no, this is bullshit. He's like, the Earth is not the center of our fucking solar system. The sun is. And he got his fucking fingers cut off for it.
Yeah.
Like, that's boss. And I think that's where, like, I start to, like, question the whole flat Earth thing just because, like, there have been dudes, and he's just one example of dudes who have, like, gone against the man. And said, no, this is wrong. it's like this, and had to pay for it. Like, there have been martyrs to good science. Now, this kind of, like, goes into a more broader subject, the benefit of science on man. And that's even stickier than flat earth theory, in my opinion.
Right.
Because, I mean, there has been good science. I'll never dispute that. Because, I mean, my son is a testament to good science. But there's been bad science. And there's been bad science that has led to good science. I mean, we wouldn't know anything about genetics if it wasn't for the Nazis.
Right.
We wouldn't know anything about rocket science if it wasn't for the Nazis.
You're right. We also wouldn't have known if twins felt each other's pain without the Nazis.
That's true. But, they were throwing spaghetti at the wall. I mean, ooh, that sounds really bad. They were doing really bad shit. And they were just it's the same thing that Japanese were doing, the same exact thing. And I talked to someone about this a couple weeks ago. They didn't even... I don't think a lot of people fail to realize the Japanese were on some torturous shit too. They were doing different things though. While the Germans were focusing more on the building blocks of life when it comes to medical science, the Japanese were trying to figure out better ways to hurt people. Yeah. And better ways to make people sick. And they were testing the boundaries of the limits of human endurance. So they were doing cold experiments, hot experiments, they were viral stuff. I mean, they made flea bombs. Fleas with plague. And dropped them on Chinese cities.
Talk to me.
I mean, they were on some I think, if you want to look it up for yourself, I do recall, I'm pretty sure it's called Unit 100, was their main base of operations in China when they were occupying. And it was civilians and children and women, and they did horrible, horrible things to them. And to this day, they got a Project Paperclip. It wasn't the same umbrella as Project Paperclip, but it was something similar from the United States. Some of them did. But the Russians got to the Japanese, too, around the same time, who were in China. And the Russians put them on trial and executed them a la Nuremberg. Yeah. Because the Russians weren't fucking around. No. The Russians did the same thing with the German Nazis that they found. That kind of, rubs me the wrong way. Yeah. Because, in a sense, the Russians did the right thing. They took these people who did horrible things and dispatched them.
It's funny that you look at all this. I mean, that's all we see. Just move on to Russia real quick. But every time I've heard anything in the form of popular culture, TVs, movies, or government, fucking straight out of the government's mouth hole, it's always about the evil Russians. And history shows us that, at least recently, they're the ones doing the right thing.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to believe that they're the ones who did the hacks, I don't believe that. No. I mean, you have the literal handlers of this info saying, no, it had nothing to do with them. Right. It was an insider who was sick of the system.
Even the accusers are backpedaling. I saw this crazy press release the other day where Obama was like, we're gonna show them. You're gonna learn today. Hacking our elections. I'm gonna pull my dick out. I'm gonna give it to you. All of it. But then when he comes out on Facebook Live, which is the new way of delivering fucking media, apparently. Yeah. He's doing this press conference, and he basically said, we have no intel that Russia did this. At all. And then he backpedals toward the end of it, and he's like, but these hackers and these nationalities that we knew hacked us will be brought to justice. What the fuck are you talking about? Yeah. Double speak.
I mean, it's the whole language that's been going on with that recent news is what's kind of rubbed me the wrong way, because and I tried to explain this to people, the media, when they put these headlines up Russian hacked the election, okay, let's clarify that, okay? When you say Russia hacked the election, what's the first thing that comes to mind?
Russia using hackers to affect the outcome of the election in Donald Trump's favor.
Exactly. But that's not what happened at all. And they're not even accusing them of that. No. They're accusing them of hacking the DNC.
Putting their dirt out there.
And hacking Joe Podesta.
The child molesting ass.
And and putting that info out in the world. Now, to me, that's not hacking the election. Yeah. You need to change your articles. They hacked the DNC. There's a difference between those two things.
Yeah, whoever hacked. Even though everything seems to show that it was insiders, people that worked for our NSA or our CIA or our FBI, that put out the shit. They're like, we're tired of covering this shit up.
And here's the ultimate thing. Even if it was the Russians who hacked, they're saying that it was because of a phishing scam that Joe Podesta fell into. If you're dumb enough to fall into a phishing scam, then you deserve it. There's no way around that.
Probably ought to pay more attention to your real life instead of your fucking kid's life.
Yeah.
Creepy pizza eating son of a bitch.
Fucking ping pong comment motherfucker.
God damn it.
Anyways, okay. So, is there anything else you want to say about Flat Earth?
No, I can say that the Earth is not flat because there's mountains everywhere. If this motherfucker was flat, it'd be flat.
Yeah, true.
Now, I'm not going to say that I believe their story. I don't ever believe their story.
Yeah.
I'm always going to be... I feel like I'm cursed to live somewhere in the middle all the time.
I tell you what, though. The Flat Earth theory, I'll give it this. It makes for a goddamn interesting story. Because, like, when I was doing the research on it and I look at the map that they supposedly... what they believe it is, it makes for the coolest fucking story where you have this giant ice wall around the fucking planet. And it made me think of Game of Thrones, and I was like, God damn it, if we don't live in Game of Thrones, this would be the shit. Like, what is that? Okay, just on the fictional side, I'm being satirical here for a moment, for those who might not hit on that. What the fuck is on the other side of that fucking ice wall? That's what I want to fucking know.
I think we all know what's on the other side of that ice wall.
Moon hornets.
Moon hornets.
Fucking moon hornets.
Yeah.
And what's our first line of defense against moon hornets? Penguins.
Right.
What the fuck? Flightless birds.
Yeah.
That's what's protecting us from the fucking moon hornets, people.
Birds with fucking tuxedo feathers.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
Who love fish, who have fucking weird, gross teeth mouths that I don't understand.
Yeah. No one understands.
That shit's gross. Have you ever seen the inside of a penguin's mouth?
It's...
Look that shit up, people.
Yeah, Google
it's
it.
It's fucking weird. Okay.
But I will push the buttons of anybody that it wants to delve further into craziness. Because, amongst this, it brought me back to a theory that I had a long time ago that, back during my heavy drinking days, I must have washed over. But, you know how salt water doesn't freeze at any temperature that this planet supplies, right?
It can't, yeah.
Well, the North and the South Pole are frozen.
Well, I know there's a process where, like, it happens, like, unfortunately, I used to watch Deadliest Catch.
Yeah.
And, like, when it gets super cold out, like, in Alaska and stuff, like, when they're in the ocean, it creates this, like, it gets so cold, yeah, the water can't freeze, but water will literally, like, it'll get so cold that water has no choice but to shoot out as, like, a vapor.
Mm-hmm.
And then it will freeze, because it's separated itself from the sodium, right? And, like, the ships get covered in the shit. Just because, like, the water gets so cold, it compels itself to become gaseous again just to escape.
Yeah. This, inevitably led to the idea that the Earth was not flat, but in fact hollow.
Oh, God. Bum, bum, bum!
I'm gonna end it here, because I gotta go pay the man. I gotta go, get into the rat race.
We're gonna continue this episode tomorrow, but you're going to be hearing it all together,
yeah,
not just in 2 bits. You won't even
know.
But we're, and just a sneak peek, let's see. I have my show notes say Caitlin is awesome. Okay, we might cover that next time. But I also, one of the second topics we got last week was from that angel, Catherine M. Doherty, and her question is, what dystopian novel best reflects what you believe is our inevitable future and why? Ooh-wee.
Yeah.
We got some shit to say.
Yeah, we will say it about that.
So, we'll say it about tomorrow, but you'll be hearing it here in a couple minutes.
Maybe even just right now. For some of you, that might have only seemed like a split second, but that was a day.
It was a full shift in time space.
Full shift. And a full shaft. I had time to go to work, freeze what little sanity I have left off, and then come home and play Fable 3, try and maintain.
Yeah.
Try and bring it back.
I watched Umi Zoomy with my son for a while yesterday, and then I watched about 5 or 6 episodes of Man in the High Castle. That was my day.
Yeah. What level of sanity are you on right now?
Oh, I'm on a decent level. You know, Man in the High Castle is a pretty decent show, so.
That's good.
Yeah.
So you're ready to go back to the grind tomorrow then?
Not particularly, but I kind of have to.
Yeah. Bills and what have you.
Mm-hmm.
Pavlovian conditioning. Because I know that at least 3 of you out there are drunk right now. Guarantee it. Such a shame that we have to come to you before, well, at least one of us goes to work, and then everybody else is probably trashed.
Yeah.
We're just coming from a different space-time point of view, which is fine.
Yeah, that's fine. This is the sacrifices we make for you, so you have a good show.
Exactly.
But yeah.
I wanted to pick up just real quick 2 things. We were talking about yesterday the whole flat Earth nonsense or theory, whatever you subscribe to, and one of the parting comments was about how the flat Earth map made for a good story, and I forgot to mention that the whole flat Earth thing does make a good story. So good that the flat Earth map was adopted as the UN flag. Google that shit.
That's true. I mean, like that's on the legit side. If you look at a picture of the flat Earth model and then look at the UN flag, it's virtually the exact same thing, minus the giant Antarctic ice wall.
Well, I think it's represented by the 2. I don't know what they are. 2 little insignias around it, but that's fine. It's fine.
Like I remember back in the day when I was in elementary school, they talked about the UN flag, and they said that the reason it was like that was because, their quote unquote reason was because they said that it the way it's positioned is so that nobody seems at advantage. Everybody's seen from the same vantage point.
Everyone is equal.
Yeah. But even though, like, from that vantage point, theoretically, you wouldn't be able to see all those continents. But,
yeah,
with Flat Earth model, you can.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to subscribe to it. Again, getting upset over what shape we are or how big the Earth is or any of that shit. I mean, would it surprise me to find out that we're actually some creation put up on a shelf like a snow globe?
Listen, I put this out like episode 2, episode 3, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
That I'm a true fence rider when it comes to the idea that this whole thing is actual existence in itself. So,
right.
like, I try not to be surprised by anything, or I might just lose my mind.
Yeah. I mean, I don't put it past anything. I mean, it is whatever.
Yeah. But anyways, in that 24-hour span, I just wanted to put a note that yesterday the Electoral College voted, and it did what it was supposed to do.
Yeah.
And that's all I'm going to say about that.
I just wonder what the news cycle will go into now.
Oh, don't worry. Don't worry your little head.
Mamby-pamby nonsense.
Oh, I'm sure it'll keep going, trucking along, with their whole real news and then the fake news thing. It's whatever.
Right.
But anyways.
If you follow that Outlaw Morgan guy I was telling you about before we started recording, he did a video where he was talking about, he's like, I might be crazy. He's like, I am, I overthink everything else in my life, but now seems like the perfect opportunity for them to just throw us into a war and suspend the whole transition to power thing. And he called out the shooting that happened, what was it, yesterday or the day before, where the Russian ambassador was...
Oh, yeah, that dude greased him, in the middle of a fucking press conference.
He basically called that out. He thinks that if Putin responds the way any rational human being or nationalist would, you kill one of us, we're going to kill all of you. Yeah. That we're going to start some sort of military action against Russia.
I saw someone put it akin to the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand.
Oh
yeah. That was the catalyst for World War One. I mean, it's not far off. He was a diplomat. He was killed in cold blood, and it wasn't a revenge kill. It wasn't any of that. It was a assassination. It was a message to be sent. But yeah. Alright. Anyways. So, last time we said that we had a topic that we were... our newest topic that we were going to discuss came from Catherine Doherty. And did we ever mention who gave us... Yeah, we said a shout out to Aaron Starr for the Flat Earth.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. This one's from Catherine Doherty. My sweet, sweet sister, and she's our Bones and Tub angel at this point. I want to call it. She's the Bones and Tub's ethereal being guardian.
Should be one of the first ones that can wear the shirt. I like Bones and Tubs before it was cool.
Yeah, you're a straight hipster on this show, Kate. Anyways,
we love you for it.
Yeah, we do. The topic she gave us, and I think this is a great one. We've talked about this in our off the air a ton of times. And I think it's a gold mine of discussion. And that is, what dystopian novel best reflects what you believe is our inevitable future and why? Whew. Now, I'd like to take this one back. Let's dial this back about a decade. when I was a younger lad, more impressionable, a little bit more ignorant, and I would have told you 1984. Straight up. But as time's gone on, and me being the observer that I am, I don't think it's one novel in itself.
No.
I think it's multiple things. And I think it does have essence of 1984, but I'd say only in the surveillance of it and the misinformation of it. Like, they throw so much information at you and change it that we can't even keep track. But I would say, like, if I was to, it definitely, like I said, essence of 1984, but more in the line of, like, Brave New World, where, like, they have surrounded us with so many pleasures and so many delightful things that we don't care when they do stuff.
Yeah. I kind of think it's governmental and corporation control akin to 1984. You've got the Soma aspect from all the pharmacology.
And then
what book was that?
I'd say that's Brave New World.
Brave New World. We're also surrounded by pleasures. And you also have the Fahrenheit 451
I'd say
effect.
Fahrenheit 451, definitely.
We don't have to burn books because nobody reads them anymore.
Exactly. Like, I mean, that was the whole point of Ray Bradbury's novel. They never, and I think it's even mentioned in the book. I mean, I've read that book about 3 or 4 times, but when the fire chief is having a frank discussion with the protagonist, Guy Montag, about everything, I mean, like, how things are, he basically says, like, the government never really banned books. People stopped reading them.
Yeah.
And then when we started burning them, nobody cared.
What was the short story that he wrote that I sent you a picture of?
I'm trying to remember it now. Find it. That, and I'd say there's another book. I don't know if it's considered dystopian. I'd say it is, but I would say it's newer, and I would say that it most closely resembles what could possibly happen in, like, our ultra capitalist society, and that's super sad true love story.
Oh yeah.
The guy who wrote that book had to, like, he started out writing it, and he had to keep making revisions because shit that he was writing was, like, coming true. So he had to, like, make it even more extreme than before. And if any of you out there have never read Super Sad True Love Story, I highly suggest it. Now, if you haven't read 1984 or Brave New World or Fahrenheit 451, I highly suggest those too. They're great reads. I mean, classics. But if you haven't read, I'm sure a lot of you have. That's like high school required reading for some people. But Super Sad True Love Story, I'd say it definitely, it's contemporary because it captures the essence of, like, our existence in this social media mixed with basically, like, I mean, you can walk around and on the streets there's these little scanners that scan you, and they basically give out your FICO credit score and shit. So everybody knows what your credit score is. And everything is based off of, like, how financially sound you are.
It's funny that they've got the patents for that. They've got a system where these, like, eventually, like, say you go to the mall, you'll be able to walk around the stores, and these scanners that already exist will scan you. I don't know if it's facial recognition through a database or what it is, but it'll show you, instead of, like, creepy-ass mannequins, with no face modeling clothes that you may or may not give a shit about, it'll show you standing in the window wearing whatever they think according to your social media profile in the store that you would like. And then according to your FICO score or whatever, it'll show you, like, we have an in-store credit card.
Oh, God.
You've already been pre-approved for, such and such amount. I think we also mirror, the name of that short story by Ray Bradbury was called And the Rock Cried Out. I won't talk about it any more than that because, God forbid, somebody overhear this podcast and draw conclusions about me based on that book. So go ahead and Google it.
But anyways, but no, I'd say, like I said, it's not one in particular, but it is definitely, there's essences of many. I mean, I've read a lot of dystopian novels, and there's some that I feel like, I mean, it's a possibility, but it just hasn't gotten that bad. Like, a lot of times in dystopian novels, it's a matter of something really, really bad happening, and then, like, you see whatever, like, the plot point is.
Mm-hmm.
Like The Handmaid's Tale. I mean, have you ever heard of The Handmaid's Tale?
I've read that.
Okay. Handmaid's Tale is like, I think there was a nuclear war, and it's devastated the Americas. And the Americas, like, they get taken over by, like, these, like, ultra-conservative, like, highly religious people that it's a patriarchy that they feel like they have to, like, repopulate. And so they assign women to be handmaids to upper-class men in the military, men in business, to procreate with them. It's a really good book. I don't think we're there, particularly. I think it was a book written out of the frustration of women feeling like they don't have a voice, most definitely. And mind you, that book was written in the 80s. I think as a culture and a society, we've taken great strides to be inclusive when it comes to women. I mean, I try to, in my everyday life, treat women as equals.
Everybody's equal as shit at this point.
Yeah. Or at least should be in this country.
Let's,
Now, elsewhere,
Yeah, but I mean, if you live in America, you're obviously oppressed.
yeah, I mean, like, I think that's half our problem is like, we don't, I don't want to get mean here, but I don't think a lot of people realize how really bad it is in other places in the world. Now, I'm not saying that we can't make strides, and there's not little tweaks and calibrations that can't be made to our society, but let's go ahead and put ourselves in perspective with the rest of the world.
Yeah.
And go ahead and say that we're not even half as bad as those motherfuckers are.
No, I think it'd be a great social service for a billionaire to take an active head count some of these protests, like the Black Lives Matter, or maybe some of the anti-Trump rallies, maybe where all the different groups feel like they're getting pushed down.
Yeah.
And just buy them all a plane ticket to Saudi Arabia or Mexico City, or let them,
Fuck, go to Syria right now.
yeah, let them all
Goddamn.
just take their signs and their hugs somewhere else. Well, one of my favorite stories of 2016 was a lady, and I don't want to say favorite because, you know, bad things happened to this poor woman, but
Yeah.
she decided that she was going to go to the Middle East and she was going to hitchhike across the country, and she was showing how Muslims were cool and everything, and how everything was fine, and she ended up getting brutally raped and
Jesus.
abducted across, her humanitarian mission across the country to show equality did not work out the way she hoped.
Yeah, see, the thing is like, there was a time, in at least Western society, where, especially during times of war, there's certain groups that are untouchable.
Yeah.
The Red Cross, women, children, things like that. Now, not to say that people like that didn't get hurt. They did get hurt. They got hurt a lot during that war. But it was still a rule of thumb then to avoid injuring children and women and people who were trying to give humanitarian aid. But you can't. You're seeing this a lot when it comes to like ISIS and shit like that, capturing humanitarians.
Yeah.
Who are trying to like help people, and then them executing them.
Maybe they're just the most progressive, and they realize, why leave them alone when they make such great human shields.
Yeah. Anyways, but no, we need to, like, okay, it's Christmas time, so to be talking about like not helping people and stuff like that seems counterproductive. But I mean, I'm not talking about like here in the West. Here in the West, I'd say at least half the time people still abide by rules of decency and logic when it comes to helping people. So we're still above 500 on that one.
Yeah.
I mean, we still have that here, but when it comes to going abroad and helping, like, I feel like time and time again, every time one of these humanitarians gets kidnapped or held hostage or gets beheaded or anything like that, we have to remember, like these, and I hate to hear it time and time again with them, is like, it's the level of naivete amongst these people, where they think that just because they're going over there and doing great things, that there aren't people who aren't willing to exploit them and hurt them, and that's wrong.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's my 2 cents on that.
Yes.
But let's see. Let's go to another topic.
I did like to see this movement towards pedophile rights is pretty exciting.
Yeah. I mean, who didn't see that coming, though? We live on a moral slippery slope, and it was bound to start going that way, unfortunately, for some people.
I just gave a guy a 30-day sentence for molesting his 12-year-old daughter over and over again.
How long?
30-day sentence. I tell you, when it becomes mainstream that they try to give these pedophiles a sexual designation, that's probably my line in the sand.
Listen,
as far as all that goes.
I know there's bound to be at least a couple liberal comrades of mine out there listening. You've got to know this is wrong, right? Like, fuck pedophiles.
You'd think so. There was a thing earlier this year. It was I forget, some sort of political organization over in the UK where they posted this video, and it shows like an English neighborhood. People are out watering their yards. This guy's driving home from his long day at the office. He comes home and pulls in the driveway, and there's a 50-year-old guy walking out of the house. He's like, "Hey, see?" And his 12-year-old daughter's in there, like, putting on makeup. And it said, like, "What would you do?" And I guess, like, the proposed law over there was to give them the sexual designation. It's not a crime. Like, love has no age type thing. Is like, if you aren't careful, this is coming to you. Coming to you.
No.
Nah, no.
No. I mean, like, okay, as a culture, a people, a society, we figured out a long time ago that basically anybody under the age of even 18 is still a level of irrational that is almost, they shouldn't have that much responsibility. But like, we had to put it somewhere. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they've fully matured into their physical form, but their brain has yet to catch up with them.
The strangest thing, too, about that is it seems like they're trying to push back the age of responsibility. I think that the Obamacare mandate showed it good with the healthcare law, where they gave, like, a coverage to a 26-year-old or 28-year-old, what they called child, that still lived in the house.
Yeah.
So you want to, like, push back childhood and adolescence into your damn near 30s, and yet you want to increase the age of consent, to, what's that, pedophile, what was it, the video,
Oh, God. Jeffrey.
Yeah.
Shit.
I can't think of the name of the video.
I always just think it was Kitty Fiddler.
Joffrey. He's like, what age do you think should be the age of consent there, Jeffrey? He's like, I don't think there should be any age.
Seriously, just look up, oh my God, what is that? I'm going to look it up now so everybody can look it up. Just look up Kitty Fiddler or something
Kitty
like that.
Fucking crazy.
And you should be able to find it. We've been watching that video for years. It's always good for a laugh, because this dude is fucking crazy.
I like to think that we've had such a long time in our society of, like, safety and relative good, happiness as far as money goes, and everybody's just kind of gotten lazy. But as soon as they try and overstep with any of this shit, like, I don't know, maybe there's, like, a line in the sand that's subconscious where somebody comes home, and I like to think that commercial would have gone a lot different in the United States, like a guy driving home from work, and he walks in his house, a 50-year-old dude's walking out, sees his daughter, like, hug him or whatever. He goes like, "Oh, see you later," and he just shoots him in the head. Maybe that'll be the more American response.
I mean, we gotta have a brain in this, everybody. We gotta have a fucking brain.
Just lay over and let this happen. I might lose my mind.
No, man, ain't gonna fucking happen. Look up most scary Kitty Fiddler, and that's Kitty with a Y. I think I just found it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, look up most
author.
Pedophile?
Yes.
Grub.
That's right.
Yeah. Grub. You just gotta watch it for yourself.
Pause the podcast and watch that and get your blood boiling.
Yeah.
Make you laugh.
Like, you almost want to believe it's fake. Yeah. It's just like, the dude is just outrageous.
I'm sure it's not, though.
But, I mean, between him wearing socks and sandals and his dog, I mean...
He looks like an English version of Herbert.
Yeah, pretty much.
Walking...
Cassie? And then he goes on to accuse his interviewer of being a rapist himself.
Yeah, you too, sir, are a raper. That was the last time you had sex with a woman. I bet that was an even occasion, wasn't it? What the fuck is going on? What a strange experiment.
Well, that and, like, along with the pedophilia thing, I was talking to somebody at work about this the other day, the whole, like, and this is starting to become a thing, too, where people are asking why there's such a thing as incest laws.
Yeah.
And you've got to... Everybody out there, come on. Everybody use your brains on this one.
Yeah.
Like, okay. And I told him this, I was like, okay, you know what? Don't let there be a law on incest. You know why? Because there's always going to be a law on incest. It's the law of nature, motherfucker.
Yeah. I just let it go.
That's the way it works. Nature created the law against incest.
Yeah.
It made it so that if you did it, bad things happened.
Yeah.
Okay? I mean, fuck, take a fucking page out of Game of Thrones. What the fuck happened there?
Why don't you just let it happen? I mean, let's just have a good time. We'll all drink champagne and we'll all get on appropriate birth control measures, and we'll have sex with our direct family members.
This is some Fall of Rome shit, for real.
Well, and good news though, I did see yesterday. Ohio was founded in the year 1803, March 1st, and we existed from then until yesterday without any laws against fucking animals. So they just passed the first law in Ohio to make it illegal to have sex with farm animals.
Really?
Yeah.
Good.
So I don't know how we lasted from 1803 to 2016 without that law, but apparently we finally got it.
So basically, this is what happened before now.
Yeah.
Cops get a call. Do you have an emergency? My neighbor, he's doing something bad. All right, we'll send someone over. They drive up, cops pull up, and dude's just fucking going to town on a Shetland pony.
Yeah.
No bucket required.
JRHNBR.
Yeah. Fucking just drilling it.
Yeah.
And the cops are like, well, nothing we could do here.
Yeah. What do you
like? And then they look at the person who made the call. They're like, you're under arrest for filing a false police report.
Right. The best thing that could happen was maybe a noise complaint ticket.
Yeah. As the dude's still fucking the pony.
I'm gonna give the followers here another opportunity to pause our show and go to Google and type in just the right height, no bucket required.
Treat yourself.
Buyer beware. The topics might be offensive, but you're not gonna have to worry about seeing anything crazy.
It's an interview.
Yeah, check it out and then come back to us.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, humanity in itself, we're a fucked up experiment.
Oh yeah,
we come this far, supposedly despite, I mean, I guess depending on what sort of worldview or you subscribe to, whether it's evolution or creationism evolution, but you got to look at it this way. We came from somewhere to this point, and we've got people you're brushing shoulders with as you shop at Kroger and you hit that U-Scan aisle. You brush shoulders against somebody who's got a pony mare that is.
He's got a big smile on his face.
He's just, I mean, maybe, fuck, I don't know.
No.
I'm an anxious mess. I worry about the world. I worry about, worry about everything. And the reason why he's happy and I'm not, maybe is because of the fact that he has got a pony mare that is in fact JRHNBR. Maybe.
I tell you what. You are right. Like, this whole thing has been one grand experiment. I tell you what. No matter what you believe in, it has been a grand experiment. We were, all of our means really of defense, other than our opposable thumbs, was taken away from us. And we were given big fucking brains to just sit around and think all the time.
Right.
That's where it went wrong. We were given big goddamn brains.
Big monkeys. I mean, basically, we're, smarter apes. We're aware of our own consciousness. We're flying around the universe allegedly on a let's just say, I'm gonna say it here. We're flying around the universe in a snow globe, and we have intelligence unsurpassed, except for maybe by dolphins. And we've
talked about dolphins before.
Yeah. Basically, I saw a meme the other day that was like aliens make contact for the first time with humanity. And it's like, hey, we're humans. We're the smartest species on the planet. And every once or twice a week, we give the grass a little haircut.
Yeah,
that's what we got to offer.
Yeah,
keeping up with the Joneses.
Exactly. I mean, we've been given so much. And it's funny, like, I saw an article a couple weeks ago, and I think we talked about this too, about chimps having rituals.
Yeah.
And I was reading about orangutans yesterday, and like how they have like their own cultures within their different groups, like how they go about doing things, how they fashion their tools and things like that, and how they mourn death. And I thought in my head, I was like, okay, and you talk about the tree and how they'd hit the tree and all that shit.
Prehistoric religion.
Yeah, and it made me laugh. I'm like thinking in my head, like I look at that and I'm like,
yeah.
Dude, you got a long way to go yet.
Yeah.
Ooh-wee. you got a lot of strife to go through before you get to where we're at, and we're still fucking struggling.
Right. You get to the point where you no longer throw rocks at trees and scream at it as an act of worship. And then, I mean, granted, they are learning to spearfish on their own.
Now, when they get to the point when they only let certain ones throw rocks at trees, that's when we know they finally figure out that there's a hierarchy to religion.
Yeah.
And that some people are just closer to God than others.
Basically, what you're saying is they have to form bigotry.
Bigotry and a priesthood.
Yeah. Priest class. Yeah.
Like, I mean, see, right now they don't because everybody has to forage for food. But once they figure out that only some of them have to forage for food while others do other things, more important things than foraging for food.
There's a reason that you have to go out there and work so hard. We can't because we're protecting you from...
We're protecting you from God.
Listen, bitch. Yeah. If you don't bring us a certain amount of food, the fucking snake is going to eat the moon. Okay?
Yeah.
And, you know, just because that fucking asshole sat around in another town that he just got thrown out of and learned star patterns and knew about eclipses, you know, he sat up on a hill and was like, all right, cool. I haven't been seen in this town before. We got 3 days till the eclipse. I'm going to go in there and spread some bullshit. Yeah. Goes into town. He's like, everybody listen. I'm going to need all your virgins. And I'm also going to need a lot of food. And I'm going to need some wine.
Yeah.
And they're like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, listen, I don't need it because I need it. I don't want it just because I'm lazy. I'm trying to protect you from the fucking snake. Okay? There's a snake up there in the dome.
And he wants to eat your ass.
He's going to eat the moon.
Yeah.
But I'll stop him. And they're like, fuck. 3 days later, eclipse. Next thing you know, that dude is just slaying virgins, drunk on honey wine, and eating berries.
Yep. He's just fat as fuck.
Priest class.
Doing it. I mean, we still, I don't mean to harp on. I'm not harping on people who believe in a higher power. I really am not. I'm harping on people who exploit people who believe in a higher power.
Right.
And use it to their advantage. I mean, like, it's still being done today. We're still getting a bait and switch. There's a billion people that still listen to one man who lives in a fake city.
He dresses like a wizard.
I mean, yeah, more or less. Put a fucking lightning bolt on that hat, and you've got a wizard on your hands.
Yeah.
I mean, we don't kid ourselves on this, okay? I'm not railing against actual people who believe in a higher power or have their own faith or whatever. I'm railing on the motherfuckers who like to manipulate these people. Like, think for yourself. I mean, there's a reason that that like outside groups who thought outside the box were persecuted for so long.
Yeah,
because people were wising up to their bullshit. I mean, Martin Luther did. You know what I mean? And they wanted to kill that motherfucker.
I still don't understand how Catholicism isn't it the most popular religion in the world? Still,
it's about popular. Like I said, there's a billion Catholics. So,
I like to think like, you know, basic Christianity. You know, you've got your 10 Commandments. They all boil down to 10, you know, simple things. Don't be an asshole.
Yeah, as I say, it all boils down to one thing. Don't be an asshole.
One of those tenets of don't be an asshole is just, you know, don't have any gods before me. That's fine. So basically, like, somebody read that and they were like, all right, so what you're saying is we need to worship a wizard. And we need to also worship people that wizard and wizards before him said were also saints.
Yeah.
So we're going to pray to these people. Wait, so that's what the commandments say. Cool, gotcha. Yeah. Oh, and we're going to let them fuck our kids. Let's let them fuck our kids.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Fuck. I mean, like, I don't like to hit too hard on religion. Like I said, I have Catholic family, and there's nothing against them. Or, you know, the worshiping of saints or whatnot. That's their bag. That's their thing. That's what they do.
Yeah, if there's any anger to be directed because of my Catholic comments, just direct them at me, because I don't care.
But
don't direct them his way.
I mean, and don't get me wrong. I see why people like saints, because they're examples. They're the examples that we would want to be better Christians by. You know what I mean? I mean Saint Joan, for example. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, who's to say that she actually talked to God or anything like that? But I mean, she definitely liberated France from the evils of England.
Yeah.
I mean, and if there's something I love more than than people liberating themselves from the evils of England is this red-blooded American right here.
Yeah.
I mean, I have Nothing makes me happier than watching somebody fuck England over.
Yeah. You take your tea and crumpets and suck them down.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Let's see. Maybe we do one more topic, then we can wrap this up. Some of these are big topics, man.
Yeah, I think...
You want to do this one right here?
Let's see.
I mean, it's a bit of a, but it could lead into our next episode based on our comments from what we say.
Yeah, unless we're both killed.
Okay, this comes from, yeah, we might be murdered. This comes from DB Hunter. Thank you, DB Hunter. He simply says, women, and why they're so irrational.
Well, you have that one. TSB shout out.
Coming from just in my own life, yes, women can be irrational, but I can be irrational too. I've been irrational before. It's about emotions. When you let emotions get in the way of your decision making, that's being irrational.
Yeah.
And I've been guilty of that before, but I'm not saying anything I haven't said before, especially to a couple of women I know listen to this podcast, is that women are in fact more irrational than men. Because they guide their decisions more off their emotions than men do. I mean, especially like I said, I can still be irrational. I was irrational just yesterday. You know what I mean? I got angry, and I shouldn't have. I should have focused my energy on something more productive. But we do love our women.
Oh, absolutely.
We love them so much. And they're smart.
Yeah, they're smart and funny. And,
yeah, I mean, yeah. Is there something wrong?
No. Nothing's wrong.
Nothing's wrong?
No.
Nothing at all?
Nothing.
Nothing?
What were you saying?
Oh, women?
I just think it's funny how...
That's... Yeah. I mean, that's I'd say like the cultural norms inside of a heterosexual relationship was just wrapped up in that entire dialogue right there.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I've been like, what's wrong? Oh, nothing. But we have our part to play in that. I'd say at least 50% of the time, I do in fact know what's wrong, but I want to hear him say it. I want to hear him say whatever, dumb thing I've said that pissed them off so bad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And with that, I don't really want to talk about this anymore because I don't like sleeping on couches.
Yeah.
Thank you, DB. If I sleep on the couch tonight, I'll hunt you down.
Yeah.
But,
Operation Gladio will be in the next show because I got to go pay the tax man here shortly.
Yeah. Well, everybody, we wanted to thank you for listening. Thank you for the topics. Keep them coming. We love talking about everything. Hit us up on Facebook, Twitter, message us. Do what you can. Thank you for listening.
Definitely keep the topics coming. And don't be afraid to maybe like or share the show. That would be awesome.
Like and share the show. We don't pay for advertising as of this point.
Yeah, this show is brought to you by the number 3.
Yeah.
And, I guess Grizzly Wintergreen Long Cut.
Yeah.
Coffee with coconut oil. Because that shit's banging. Yeah, cigarettes, Camel,
Yeah. But,
hopefully we get an email from the tobacco company.
Yeah. Grizzly wants to sponsor us.
Yeah.
But, I just want to wish you all a Merry Christmas. Have a safe holiday. We hope you have fun with your families.
Happy Kwanzaa.
Yeah.
I would say I hope it's a white Christmas, but I don't want to get in trouble, so I won't say that.
All right.
Hopefully it rains.
Thank you for listening again, and we'll see you next time.
We love you.
We really do.